right, we have ourselves an open-ended problem. Some students want to learn about the exercise habits of the students at their middle school. Very exciting. 3 students conducted the surveys described below. Carrie surveyed the girls at her lunch table. Mandy surveyed each 10th grade student who entered the school building. And Leah surveyed all of the members of the girls' and boys' soccer teams. Okay, explain why Mandy's survey is the best representation of a random sample to learn about the exercise habits of the students at the middle school. As part of your explanation, state why the other 2 surveys do not represent random samples. Well, Mandy's is the best because she picks random 10th grade students. She goes eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and picks random 10th grade students. So I'm going to say that Mandy's, and this is me writing, Mandy's is the best because, and I'm going to use really mathy words, it's a random sampling of all 10th graders. Okay, the issue with Carrie is that she surveyed just girls. So Carrie, and also it's just her friends. So Carrie is not random because she chooses only girls and her friends. Okay, Leah is not, Leah is, I guess. Leah is not random. I'm running out of space because she picks sports players only, or soccer players only. So, because she picks, I'll put athletes only. Fit it in. All right, so whenever you're doing a random sampling, you need to have it random. You can't just say, I'm choosing the girls, I'm choosing the soccer players. You have to pick random people, and that's what Mandy did. All right, now we have part B. We have ourselves a 2-way table. A school-wide survey was conducted to find out how many students ride a bike for exercise. Nick conducted a survey of a sample of 75 students to find out how many students ride a bike for exercise. The results of both surveys are shown in the table below. Based on the information in the table, why is it likely that Nick's sample is not random? State how many students from Nick's sample would have been expected to ride a bike for exercise had his sample been truly random. Well, let's compare the numbers. Your school population is 875. Okay, 490 said they rode a bike. So the school population is, you have a little, and you're allowed to use a calculator for this. So if you were to type into your calculator 490 divided by 875, you get a little more than half ride a bike. A little more than half ride a bike. Here, for Nick's sample population, good name, you have 26 out of 75 people. That's almost a third. Okay, so if you were to actually calculate the numbers, the school population, you have 56% of the entire school saying they rode a bike, but Nick's number is 35%. That's a huge difference. In fact, that's a 21% difference. So let's just make believe that I typed out the numbers and found out that 490 divided by 875 is around, and I'm going to use the wavy X equal signs, is around 56%. Okay, Nick's sample was 26 out of 75. And when I do the calculations over there, that's roughly 35%. So if Nick's sample was random, it would be closer to the school population. Those numbers would have to be very, very population. I'll just pretend that I didn't misspell that because I'm writing and talking at the same time. So if these numbers were about the same, then Nick did a good job. But since they're really not the same, there's a huge difference between the 2%, Nick didn't really do a good job. But, oh, that's it. That's an A and B open-ended problem. Okay? So that does it for that one. That ends the open-ended, and that ends practice test number 1 for 7th grade PSSA math. Fun, fun, fun.